Let's be honest, we've all been there before. It's late August, and we know it's coming, the start of professional development. We see the email pop up that we have to sign up for the 3 days of professional development prior to the school year starting. At the same time, we're getting tons of emails about our incoming students, about IEPs, 504s, various accommodation meetings that we have to have before starting the year. But what are we going to do at our professional development to start the year? Are we learning how to accommodate some of these new students? Are we getting time to explore and work with our new technology? Or are we learning about different ways to sort data? You know, something we went to college for 4 years. There seems to be some sort of disconnect going on. In the world of education, we know it's about the learning. We see our students look up to us every day to learn new things, regardless of the subject. As teachers, we arrive at our professional developments each year hoping to learn something new, something that will impact our teaching, impact the way we can help our students. But that thought seems to get lost as we sit down in that auditorium on the first day. Why are we there? What are we doing? What is the purpose and how is it going to make us better educators moving forward? Learning is king. We all know that. However, we need to be put in a position where we can learn in these days, the 3 days at the beginning of the year and another 2 or 3 mixed in throughout. These are times that we could be doing useful and necessary things for our classroom. Professional development from a bird's eye view often looks like our worst nightmare for our own classroom. It looks like this, or this. The tradition needs to be broken. We don't need to be talked at by administrators for 7 hours a day. We, as educators, the teachers, the leaders, we can make a difference. We can work together with one another. We can lead the sessions. We can give choices and options to those interested. We can make use of the skills that we use for 180 days a year in our classroom. When administration comes in and observes our classroom and their feedback says, students should be up and moving around more, or so-and-so is not engaged in the last 15 minutes of class. That feedback we receive needs to be given to these sessions and applied appropriately. We don't only want, but we need our learning to look like this. We want to see students working together. This doesn't have to be administrators speaking at us. We want to see teachers working together, cross-curricular, from subject to subject at times, from grade level to grade level at times. We need to hear that what works. We need to hear what doesn't work. And we need to be each other's support systems and fellow brainstormers, particularly in the high school, where I spend my time, where we see students who are growing into young adults who are craving guidance of their elders. The pandemic did many things to the world of education. For professional development, it gave away control. Administrative teams weren't able to sit there and watch and take attendance and check in on various classrooms to make sure that everyone is giving their full attention to the sessions. They had to give up some freedom and they had to allow themselves to trust to their educators, which shouldn't be too far-fetched. In the blended or virtual setting, teachers looked like this on their professional development days. They were able to use their own resources and take control. But why, as soon as this school year started, back to normal, did our professional development return to how it was? Did we not learn from the new things we were introduced to? Now is the time for professional development to fade and professional learning to take the lead. This does not look like a show and tell lecture format. It's hands-on, it's interactive, and it's engaging. This is practical and applicable to all involved. The common belief that education is changing every day and we must keep up with the times is a valid one. However, I'm not sure of a time where the current format of professional development was ever appropriate. As educators, we work every day to encourage our students to collaborate with one another. At the high school level, this is a skill I really try to dial in as it's necessary no matter what the future holds for these students. As teachers, it is no different. The more opportunities we have to work with our peers and compare and contrast strategies and ideologies, the more likely we are to learn. Professional learning should be a naturally flipped classroom system. The experts, the educators, can be the ones driving forward their own personal learning. Give a group an area of focus and let them explore. Let them agree, let them disagree, let them compare and contrast. Provide the freedom that they deserve. All new things are uncomfortable at first, but can make such an impact in time. The buzzwords in education should not only apply to students. The traditional format is one size fits all, which is not reality. Differentiating professional learning can tailor the opportunities to the individuals, whether it is grade by grade, subject by subject, or any common characteristic at that. Teachers need this freedom and trust from their higher-ups. Less than 14 hours devoted to an area of professional learning has been statistically proven to result in zero, and I mean zero, learning that is applicable to the classroom. My district had a multi-year initiative 7 years ago based around differentiated instruction, one of the biggest terms used in education these days. Several cohorts of teachers, cross-curricular, per year were pulled out of their classes and spent 4 full days of the semester fully devoted to this movement, and it worked. As you walk down the halls in my school, you'll see countless of these strategies being used every day. Now, this was professional learning. This had value, but have no doubt it was expensive and was run by a third party. The Center for Public Education gives the 5 key principles to effective professional learning. The first principle is duration, which I think my previous anecdote speaks directly to. This professional learning opportunity was not a quick hitter, 1-hour session a week before school starts. It was 4 full 7-hour days, 28 hours. This was time to learn, to reflect, to create, to participate, and most importantly, to grow. The second principle is the need for support during implementation. One of the best components of this differentiated instruction professional learning was the support we received from the leaders of the sessions. We view them as more as coaches, and they come into our room and teach with us, providing us with stability and confidence as we went outside of our comfort zone. Additionally, they gave us written feedback and met with us virtually around our schedule, while also giving us resources we could turn to at any time. Who wants to sit around and be bored in an uncomfortable room at the beginning of the year where the air conditioner isn't quite working yet? Or do that for 6 hours a day, for 3 days in a row in mid-August. We're experts at that from our years of professional development on how to sort grade books based on state standards. The learners have to want to learn, and the instructors have to want to instruct, and they have to instruct with passion and energy at that. Seeing something new in action has shown to be one of the best ways to learn and to grow. No 2 teachers will teach something the same way, similar to no 2 learners learning the same way. But being exposed to an authentic experience modeled for us and forming our own opinions on whatever it may be, while visualizing the twist we would put on it, takes what started out as a mere thought and puts it into action. As a mathematics teacher, the last principle really resonates with me. Far too often do I find myself learning about tools and ideas that simply are not realistic in my classroom. My curriculum is rigid and not always allows for brain breaks, nor would students know what to do if I did them 2 to 3 times a class period. The learning has to be tailored, whether it is by grade, subject, or whatever variable may be important for that given session. COVID-19 threw our world for a loop, and the world of education is no exception. We have seen how districts are able to adapt when needed, but the response following this is not to go back to where we were, but to continue to grow. Professional development needs to go, and professional learning needs to be the new norm. My plan is blended learning and transitioning our traditional classroom from teacher-driven to student-driven. Now we must transition professional learning from admin-driven to teacher-driven.